This painting, my painting, tells a story. It's by the artist Lucy Burden and it's called Pimlimmon, the Wye Way. For me, it somehow captures the spirit of the whole adventure I've been on over this past year. I've been looking for a new walking project. Something solo, something a bit different, a bit personal. So I looked at my maps and had a think and ended up deciding, why don't I walk the River Wye from its source high in the mountains of mid-Wales all the way down to the sea, the Severn Estuary. I set off one cold, wet spring morning, heading for the summit of Pimlimmon, where the River Wye is born. It poured, and then it poured with rain some more. I could barely see my hand in front of my face, and I never did get to the spring that ghastly day. Over the months that followed, I ticked off more sections. Snowy miles down from Hafren to Nant Gurig, and then on to Rhayader, the first town on the Wye. I followed riverside paths through Herefordshire, and finished off in the steep wooded gorge around Tintern and down to the estuarine end of the River Wye, where it flows into the Severn beyond Chepstow. Half the river or more still lay ahead to walk when, by good fortune, I heard about a series of group walks being organised by Ruth Waycott, the author of the Cicerone guidebook to the Wye Valley Way. Now I'll admit I wasn't sure about joining a walking group, but I needn't have worried. This group has turned out to be a joyous experience, and together, over a dozen or so walks, we followed the Wye Valley from source to sea. Early in the Source to Sea Odyssey, on the walk down to Builth, Wales, Ruth promised us a lunchtime art exhibition. Even better, the exhibiting artist was one of our number and was walking with us. And that's when I met Lucy Burden. We stopped by the Rocks, a place where the dark waters of the Wye tumble over hard, igneous stone. And Lucy told me how she'd begun her painting right here in the field, sketching, sensing and feeling the place, and how, back in her studio, it then takes on a life of its own. I was intrigued, and her work isn't just about what she sees, it's about what the landscape feels like. Later that day, in the Wyeside Gallery in glorious Builth, Wales, I saw it. This painting. And I thought, yep, that's the one. A perfect memento of the Wye journey. And I made a quiet promise to myself to start saving up. Months later, I found myself back in Rhayader, climbing Pimlimmon once again. It was grey and cool, and the hills rolled away in every shade of olive green and slate blue. And this time, I found the spring. That tiny trickle of water that begins high up on the slopes of Pimlimmon and begins the great River Wye. I stood there a long time, thinking about how rivers, like journeys, begin quietly. A lonely but comforting place. I was enchanted. The very next morning in Rhayader, I went into the Lost Art Cafe for breakfast. And there it was again, hanging on the wall right in front of me. Lucy's painting. A sign, surely. I bought it on the spot. And now it hangs here at home on our wall, and every time I see it, I'm taken back to that lonely, beautiful mountainside where the river begins. It takes me back to all the laughter, the miles walked together, the friends made along the Wye Valley Way. Thank you, Ruth, for bringing us all together on our Wye Valley Walk, and thank you, Lucy, for my painting. I shall treasure it always. Do check out Lucy's online gallery, and thank you for watching.